So guys, this video is very different from our usual content. We are bringing you something very serious and very, very important. Hi lovelies.
Hello.
Welcome to our channel.
I'm Whitney.
And I'm Megan.
And together, we're Wegan. We're wife and wife based in Windsor, UK.
And we are petitioning the government to stop discriminating against LGBTQ+ families.
We're being discriminated against, plain and simple, and we're going to be explaining and outlining why in this campaign video.
If you're new to our channel, then we have been together for 12 years. Whitney's American, I'm English, and we actually did a long distance between Hawaii and the UK.
For 4 years.
So 2020 we thought was finally the perfect year for us to finally expand our family from fur babies to human babies. We always knew that we needed sperm, but we didn't quite know exactly what was involved until we embarked on this journey.
So initially we were hoping that we could do home insemination just to have like a really beautiful moment together and for it to be intimate and not in a clinical setting.
But we were really disheartened to find out that is not possible for us to do in the UK. In 2005 they changed the law so that sperm can no longer be shipped to your home. So home insemination is not an option for us, which forces us to go down the private route. Wonderful.
Nice and clinical.
Not only is it clinical, it's also expensive.
This alone puts an unfair burden on LGBTQ+ couples to expand their family before they've even had the child.
And not only this, in order to get any help from the NHS, we actually have to undergo multiple treatments in order to prove infertility, whereas straight couples have to say they're having sex for 2 years unsuccessfully. And the NICE guidelines, which is what sets the standards of what the commissioning groups should follow, say that it should be 12 rounds of IUI before they will step in. Now let me just explain how much money that could be. A lot. Each round you're looking at least £1,000 plus everything else you have to go through. So they're expecting LGBTQ+ couples to spend between like £6,000 to
£50,000.
yeah, before they'll even go,
okay, we'll give you one free round.
Oh, that's nice, thank you.
And that's not even including all the additional costs, you know, your sperm, which, you know, it's cost us, what, around £6,000 essentially. So if you add all of that in, it is astronomical.
It is, and so unfortunately a lot of LGBTQ+ couples cannot afford to have a family, and that is absolutely heartbreaking. So we have decided to do something about it.
Sexual orientation should not be a barrier to have a family in the UK.
Upon announcing to our followers some of the struggles that we've been experiencing, we were really shocked to find that not only are some of them planning to not even be able to have a family, but that others are actually going down alternative and dangerous routes of how they're getting their sperm and doing their treatments at home instead to save on the cost.
For example, they may be making private deals with men they've met on social media who are not screened.
Obviously they may carry out some tests, however, no matter how good of a legal document they have drawn up, this will not protect them in court, and I think a lot of people are unaware of this. So the government are forcing a lot of LGBTQ+ couples to go down unsafe routes in order to expand their family when they should be helping us to do so. The NHS is supposed to treat everyone equally.
But being gay is not the same as being infertile.
And this puts an unfair financial burden on the LGBTQ+ community. During our process of embarking on having a family, we encountered a lot of little hurdles and discrimination. Because we have to go to a fertility clinic, we are being treated as medically infertile, whereas that is not the case. It is non-medical infertility if you want to see it as such. We are currently going down the route to IUI, and we were quite shocked at the mandatory steps that we had to follow. All couples have to follow, but this mainly applies to problems with infertility. It doesn't make a lot of sense to make lesbian women, single women, trans men go through the exact same procedure. We're being treated as if we're medically infertile, and that is not what's going on here.
We also found out recently that Canada helps everyone regardless of their sexual orientation for any fertility treatments.
Yeah, medical and non-medical infertility.
Amazing.
I mean, it's plain and simple. We already know what the issue is, so why is there no help? Why are they just letting LGBTQ+ couples struggle? In trying to find out what fertility treatments are available, we've actually not been able to find out any information. We asked our GP and he had no idea. We haven't heard anything back yet, so we have no result. We've tried looking online, there is no information. It's just impossible to actually find out how many rounds, say, of IUI we would need to do in order for the NHS to step in and help us. Throughout our journey, we have found out that there is a postcode lottery as to the different areas that will offer help to LGBTQ+ couples. This is also the same for straight couples. Depending on where you live, they might offer more or less amount of free treatments. However, for LGBTQ+ couples, there will always be a cost associated. Some will mostly have 6 rounds of IUI.
There needs to be a central location where we can find these things out easily. It just adds to the stresses and the pressure, and we feel like there is no support in place for us.
Something interesting that we found out from our fertility doctor is that the stats for IUI look lower than IVF, but this isn't actually based on the real success rate that IUI can give. It's because it is skewed by couples who try it who actually have infertility problems. So straight couples with medical infertility are going down the route of IUI because they are struggling to get pregnant naturally. And LGBTQ+ couples also have to go down the same route, but the stats are not being separated. This is also the same for single women as well.
We want the government to stick to the promise made by Health Secretary Matt Hancock last year that the Department of Health would carry out a review
into equal access to fertility treatments for LGBTQ+ couples.
The government should also demand that all of NHS England's CCGs
use the NICE guidelines and fund 3 rounds of IVF for all women under 40.
We also urge the government to collate more stats
so that we can truly see the picture for LGBTQ+ couples in trying to start a family. Finally, the government should review the ban on shipping sperm donations to home addresses in the UK.
because private clinics are the only places we're allowed to access medically screened and safe sperm.
Please sign the petition to help us force the government to carry out a review
And to stop discriminating against LGBTQ+ families in the UK.
Please sign it, the link will be in the description. Please share it on social media, tag us if you do, send it to all your family and friends. We need this petition to reach 100,000 signatures. Let's do this.
We can do it, guys.
We've decided to launch this petition because even though it probably will not help or affect us, we want to be able to help other LGBTQ+ families in the future to create their dream family.
We really hope that this campaign brings on real change.
If we're meant to be seen as equal in the eyes of the government, we can get married. You know, love is love. But why are we not allowed to create a family?
This campaign means so much to us, and we truly want to be able to help LGBTQ+ couples expand their family. Why should we be denied that and have any extra emotional or financial strain before we've even had a child?
It's discrimination, plain and simple, and we want to do something about it. So please help us.
Something has to change. Without voices and people speaking up and without signatures, change cannot be made. So please sign that petition and send it to everybody you know.
Please sign the petition. But that's enough from us. We also have some stories from other LGBTQ+ couples
who are trying to expand their family.
that will truly break your heart.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Jay.
Hello, my name is Marie.
Hi, my name is Becky Muskimin.
Hi, I'm Marie.
And I'm Lex.
And we are a lesbian couple living in the UK in Devon.
I live near Guildford in Surrey.
We live in Cambridge.
And we've been civilly partnered for nearly 3 years.
I am from a little town in Northern Ireland. I am not married yet, soon to be married in 2023.
My wife and I have been trying to have a baby for the past 6 years.
And we would love to have a baby.
We're here today to put our voices to a really, really important campaign that's very close to our hearts, to urge the government to do a review of fertility treatments for the LGBTQ+ community.
And we'd love for all of you to join in.
It would mean the world to us to have a baby and to start a loving family.
It would mean the absolute world to myself and my fiance to be able to have a baby and start a family.
Although we're lucky enough to have reasonably well-paid jobs, it's been a heart-wrenching journey to find out that we'd have to spend a ridiculous amount of money, a life-changing sum, to even have the chance at gambling for a pregnancy through fertility treatments. So please, 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 please sign the petition.
I remember going to my GP 6 years ago and asking her, how do we do this? How do we go about making a family, having a baby? And she said, I have no idea, which was, not a great start to our baby making journey.
My doctors, who I've already spoken to, didn't know what to do. They've never been in this situation before. They didn't know who to send me to.
We are urging the government to review the fertility treatments that are available to LGBTQ+ families, and we need your help.
We have wanted a baby for the longest time. It's something we spoke about on our very first date.
It's something that we both wanted separately, but even more so now that we are a couple. We both want the opportunity to see each other be parents and the opportunity to parent together. We want to grow our family.
I think that every family should be able to, it doesn't matter who they are, what they are, who they're married to, if they're married, not married, anything. I think everyone should be entitled to be able to have a family.
It's been really tricky navigating, guidance and finding relevant sources to you, because actually each clinical care group in the UK has different guidelines when it comes to same-sex couples and fertility treatment. What we're asking is that the government look at those guidelines, and we're asking that they, nationalise the fertility support for LGBTQ families.
I cannot urge the government enough to review what the rules and regulations are over being able to have fertility treatment and IVF being more accessible for LGBTQ+ families, because there's no real help out there, and that's the problem.
Growing up as a lesbian, I resigned myself to always being the auntie and never the mum. I just knew I couldn't afford it and told myself that I would never have a family. So we're here today to tell you to please help us and loads of other couples around the world and the UK
in our position
to sign this petition.
I was diagnosed with PCOS nearly 10 years ago. If my partner were male, I'd be able to get some treatment on the NHS. But because she's female, I can't.
And actually, if you are an LGBTQ family, or if you love someone who is part of one, or actually if you believe in equality for all and that everyone deserves the chance to be a parent, it would be great to have your support to sign the petition to ask them to do this.
The costs are at the moment just prohibitive for us, so please sign the petition.
Thank you for listening to us, and I hope you can see how much we want to start a family and how much it would mean to us to have some support from the government to do that.
Would help so much. So sign the petition.
We need the help. We need all the help that we can get.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.